माइक्रो क्रिएटर और इस कैटेगरी के विनर है अरितमन, जो वैदिक एस्ट्रोलॉजी और एंशिएंट इंडियन विजडम पर काम करते हैं। आप आध्यात्म पर काम करते हैं और ज्योतिष पर काम करते हैं और सबको प्रेरणा देते हैं।
केयूरान विभूषयन्ति पुरुषं हारान चन्द्रोज्ज्वला सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वां सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुच।
How did you selected as a best micro creator?
I am creating content from 2021, and I create content regarding spirituality and history and some Hindu texts and some art and culture. So it's been now around 3 years, and when this award was inaugurated by the government of India, I was nominated as a micro creator, and there was a voting system. In that voting system, the followers, our followers, the people who used to follow me, they voted for me, and there were jury members, there were people from government, and then on the basis of the votes and their choice, they decide that who is going to win. And in the category of micro creator, I won the first prize for the best micro creator. And this is the first time in India when this is happening, where a micro creator is getting an award. So it's really a big event for me because it's the first National Creator Awards, and I am in the category of micro creators, and I have won this award for the first time.
How many creators selected for this prize ceremony?
There were different categories. There were celebrity creators, there were food bloggers, there were travel bloggers, and from all over India, there were only 23 people who won this prize. So I was in the category of micro creator, and I won this award.
How old are you and what do you want to become?
So I'm 19 years old, and my goal as in profession, I want to study law, and in law I want to do judicial services, or I'll become a lawyer. So I have these two options as a profession. And if you talk about my goal, my inner goal, so I think that I want to spread awareness throughout the youth of India and teenagers that our culture is a great culture, and we can follow this. We can live freely by following our culture and our traditions without any hesitation. So I think that I want to introduce the youth and teenagers that we should accept and embrace our culture, our dresses, our jewelries, and whatever is related to Hindu system or Indian culture.
How do you manage both Vedic and general studies?
So for managing my normal studies and Vedic studies, it's a very simple thing. Nowadays we think that if we study in a school, or if we are studying something related to the new education system, we think that we cannot study Vedic things. But I think the most important part is of reading books. We often read comics, we read novels, nowadays we read different kinds of novel online. So I think we have quite many options for having a different for reading some different books. Like we can read Gita, we can read Ramayana, we can read Mahabharat. We have things in story format. So we have the small Amar Chitra Kathas for kids, so they can start reading from that. And I think people of my age, or the kids who belong from 15 to 16 years, they can definitely read Gita, they can definitely read Upanishads. We have English translations, we have Hindi translations, and I think from whichever organization or from whichever samsthan we belong to, or we feel that this is the right thing, we can read those books. And I think reading books is the main point in this. And after reading them, we have to also implement them. Often people ask me that we are reading Gita or we are reading Ramayana, but what's the use? So I say that when you read Gita, when you read Ramayana, when you read Mahabharata, the most important thing is that you should follow those things, what is written in that particular scripture. So when Ramayana mentions that Rama used to do Sandhya, right? So we can adopt that. We should do Sandhya. And I think it's not a big deal we can read one page. If not one page, we can read half page. If not that, we can read a paragraph. If not that, we can read a rhyme. Because Chanakya says that if you don't read anything, just read a word, but read. Because when we read something, we naturally adopt those ideas, and we work according to that. So for the teenagers, I think if from their family they're not getting much support, then they should read those books themselves, and then they should try to implement those things in their life. And most of the things are available today. We want to do Sandhya, you go on YouTube, you can find the Sandhya tutorials. And you want to do a small puja, you go to YouTube, you can get mantras, you can get everything in a in a good way, in a proper format. For much guidance, you can also ask to a pujari, an acharya, and they'll be happy in helping you. So I think study whatever you study, read some books like you read storybooks, novels, watch some good documentaries, podcasts, and these things helps a lot. मनोबुद्ध्यहङ्कारचेतानि नाहं न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च श्रोत्रजिह्वे न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च व्योमभूमिर्न तेजो न वायुः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं 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 शिवोऽहं.
How did you feel spending a great time with Prime Minister Modi ji?
That event when they announced my name, so it was a bit for everyone it's shocking, because you don't even think that Prime Minister of India can give you an award for the content which you make. So when they announced my name, I went there, and Prime Minister was very friendly. The first thing which we can understand, all of those creators who all were present there, he was very friendly. He was making some good jokes, he was sharing his stories. So when my name was announced and I went to the stage, he told about his childhood when he used to go in an unreserved train, and he used to see hands of people, and used to guess that even I know astrology, and he used to get a seat. So after that I introduced myself as that I am not an astrologer, because I am not an astrologer. I don't make any content related to astrology. What my content is all about, some facts, some things, or some things which are written in scriptures, but I don't deal with the astrology part of the scriptures. So I clarified this thing, and after that Prime Minister gave me the mic, and he said that now you can speak what you want to. So at that time I told the audience, and I addressed them that the trophy which I am holding, this award which I am holding, is not just an award. This is the symbol of this nation. This is the Rashtriya Chinna, and in this Chinna we have a Dharma Chakra, which we call as Dhamma Chakram, but it's basically Dharma. And in this one term Dharma, there are various dharmas. We have Raja Dharma, we have Stri Dharma, we have Kula Dharmas. So as this is a nation, all those dharmas are reflected in this one wheel of Dharma. And that's what a common thing which connects me to that award, because my content is about culture, spirituality, and the Dharma Chakram, which was in that particular award, the national emblem, that was related to my content. So I just addressed all those people, the guests, that I am proud that I am following my traditions. And at that day I was wearing dhoti and uttariya. So I was not even wearing this t-shirt, because I felt that it is an opportunity, it is an event which is the most important event of my life, because I don't know whether I'll get this chance again or not. But I wanted to represent my culture, my attire, and I chose that one, and I went there. And I think whatever I spoke, that was all by the grace of God, because the first thing which I spoke was the name of God, because I think He is behind everything whatever I do, because as we all are spiritual beings, and it's really necessary to remember God in every aspect.
बेस्ट माइक्रो क्रिएटर, और इस कैटेगरी के विनर हैं अरितमन, जो वैदिक एस्ट्रोलॉजी और एंशिएंट इंडियन विजडम पर काम करते हैं। आप आध्यात्म पर काम करते हैं और ज्योतिष पर काम करते हैं और सबको प्रेरणा देते हैं।
ओहो भैया झुको मत। बहुत बहुत बधाई। तो आज क्या कार्यक्रम है?
आज का बस यही कार्यक्रम है।
नहीं, इसलिए ये सारे लाइन लगा के खड़े रह जाएंगे, क्योंकि ज्योतिष ऐसी चीज है, कोई भी हाथ दिखाता है। मैं अपना बचपन का एक अनुभव बता दूं। मैं ट्रैवलिंग करता था बहुत, और कभी आरक्षण रिजर्वेशन तो कोई सोचना ही नहीं था। भीड़ बहुत होती थी अनरिजर्व डिब्बे में। तो मैं क्या करता था, देखता था कि हाँ थोड़ा मौका है, तो मैं किसी का हाथ पकड़ के शुरू करता देखना। तुरंत लोग मेरे लिए सीट की व्यवस्था करते थे। आइए आइए बैठिए। अब आप बताइए।
लक्ष्मी हयवदन परब्रह्मणे नमः। सभी को मेरा सादर नमस्ते। और पहले मैं ये बताना चाहूँगा कि मैं ज्योतिष की वीडियोस नहीं बनाता हूँ। मैं धर्मशास्त्रों के कुछ विषयों पर अपनी वीडियोस बनाता हूँ, और ये पुरस्कार मुझे मिला। इसमें धर्मचक्र भी है, इसमें वृषभ भी है, इसमें सिंह भी है, और इस धर्मचक्र की मर्यादा बनी रहे, ये धर्मचक्र सतत चलता रहे, इसके लिए ही मेरा छोटा सा प्रयास है। और ये धर्म चक्र केवल एक मूर्तमान पुरस्कार की कोई मूर्ति नहीं है जिसको हमें घर में जाकर के सजा देना है। अपितु अपने जीवन के अंदर इस धर्म चक्र को धारण भी करना है। और इसके अंतर्गत कोई आध्यात्मिक कर्मकांड नहीं आते हैं, इसके अंदर कोई पूजा पाठ या विधियां नहीं आती है। आज मैंने जो वेशभूषा पहनी है, बहुत से लोग इसे देखकर सोच रहे होंगे कि मैं कोई सन्यासी हूं, कोई बाबा हूं, कोई तपस्वी हूं, लेकिन मैं इनमें से कुछ नहीं हूं। मैं एक सामान्य बालक हूं जो अपनी 12वीं कक्षा इस समय कर रहा हूं। लेकिन मैं बताना चाहता हूं कि ये जो कपड़े मैंने पहने हैं, ये अध्यात्म का प्रतीक नहीं है, ये भारतीय संस्कृति का प्रतीक है जिसे हम भुला चुके हैं। प्रधानमंत्री जी ने वेशभूषा की बात करी, हस्तकला की बात करी, और मैं कहना चाहूंगा कि जो परिधान मैंने पहना है, ये भारत का सबसे पुराना परिधान है, जिसको आज लगभग इधर बहुत कम लोग पहन के आए होंगे। तो मैं आशा करता हूं कि मेरे छोटे से योगदान से, यद्यपि मैं एक बहुत बड़ा क्रिएटर नहीं हूं, लेकिन मेरे छोटे से योगदान से मैं इस राष्ट्र के धर्म चक्र में एक छोटा सा सहयोग देता हूं, और उसके लिए आप सभी का मैं साथ मांगता हूं। और उसके लिए मुझे यहाँ बुलाने के लिए प्रधानमंत्री जी का बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन, आप सभी लोगों का बहुत बहुत अभिनंदन। नमस्कार।
आप अरी कैसे आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं और अरी का दमन कैसे करते हैं?
प्रथम तो अरी अंतर्मन के शत्रुओं का ही दमन करे, और बाहरी शत्रु बहुत रूप से होते हैं, फिजिकल शत्रु भी होते हैं, अंतर्मन के शत्रु भी होते हैं, परंपराओं के शत्रु भी होते हैं, रहन सहन के शत्रु भी होते हैं। और मैं समझता हूं कि जितनी हद तक हम इन शत्रुओं का निवारण कर सके उतना ही अच्छा है, और मैं इस अपने नाम को सार्थक करने के लिए उस लक्ष्य की तरफ अग्रसर हूं। और माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के आशीर्वाद से, आप सभी के आशीर्वाद से मैं इस पर आगे बढ़ता रहूं, ऐसी मेरी आशा है।
बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं।
What's your daily routine?
I have a normal day routine where I wakes up early in the morning and I do Sandhya Vandam. Sandhya Vandanam is, it's daily. So it's something because we have Yajnapavitam, so it's our duty to do Sandhya Vandanam at least 2 times a day. So I do that. And other than that, I do Deva Puja, in the morning or in the evening whenever I get time. So I have Shaligram, I have Vishnupad, and I do Deva Puja, and I do Sandhya Vandanam as a routine. And then about my diet, it's like what we say in Hindi, जो घर में बनता है खाते हैं. Whatever my mother makes, and it will be dal chawal or roti sabzi and all those things. So I eat that, and my routine, I have this thing that I prefer, whatever is made in my home at that present moment. So that's my diet, nothing specific or nothing special, but it's just a normal boy living in his house. Whatever his mother cooks, he just eat that. And then I have certain specifications. Like sometimes I don't eat karela or I don't eat tinda, which is not at all right. But as a normal boy, even many people, they don't eat a specific vegetable. So I am also same. I don't eat some specific vegetables, but I also eat whatever is made. So dal, chawal, roti, those things.
Haridhaman, what is the right age for a child to become a Vedic philosopher?
Normally, we see that, since from childhood, the main aspect starts from the childhood, and a small kid, whatever he sees in his family, he follows that. So if we want that, our children or our, the generation which is going to come forward after us, so we have to make sure that we do what we want to preach, whatever we want to teach them, we have to follow that ourselves. And I think the age of 6, 7, these ages are the starting. So when a kid sees that my father is doing something, my mother or my friends, so it's quite easy for him to to adapt those things and to go according to that. Another thing is that there are certain people who don't know how to do, and they don't know about spirituality anything. But I have seen those people who were 17, 18, but they just they got an inclination towards spirituality. They started reading books. As I said previously, that reading books is a very important aspect in learning about spirituality, because when you read books, you follow those things, you search about them, and naturally you will reach wherever you want to go. जो आपकी जगह है वहाँ आप जाएंगे ही. So the main aspect is that from childhood we should practice, and parents should make sure that the child he's able to see these things or not, because whatever he'll see, he'll follow that. So this is the age from where we should start our journey of spirituality, and it depends on the parents in first instance, and after that it depends on the child. And I think that parents should give freedom too. We should never force that you have to do this specifically. We should follow, and we should tell them this is right, this is wrong. Now it's up to you what you will choose, because when you will go on this path, you will find these difficulties. If you will go on the path of dharma, you will find this happiness forever. So the child knows, and he'll choose his path. Even if he'll feel that at this age he's not listening to us, but a point will come in his life when he'll realize that whatever my parents said was right, and he'll definitely follow the path of spirituality.
As a Vedic philosopher, how do you see children becoming addicted to phones these days? What advice do you have for them?
So for this, I think that nowadays I see small babies. What parents do, they'll if he's crying, so they'll just give him that smartphone and say watch reels, watch shorts, and he'll be busy in that. He'll stop crying. But I don't think that this is right. I think that parents should they should not give them phones or smartphones, and they should try to give them something which is related to nature or something like that, because it will connect them to the nature. Or even toys are good, because that's naturally a kid will understand how to play with a toy. But when you give them phone, I think it's not right in when they are, especially when they are very small. And at a certain age, like in today's time, we see that in schools and colleges, phone is needed, smartphone is needed. So even I use that, but I think you can play games, you can watch videos. It's right, it's totally right, it's not wrong. But I think we should have certain limits, and we should also use those phones and laptops for our researches or our books, PDFs, and watching some good podcast or documentaries. And in this way we can make a good use of those phones and laptops, because by them also we'll be learning something. So using unnecessarily without any reason is not right at all. So I suggest that when you need phone in your school or in your college or laptop, it's needed, it's necessary, so you should definitely use that. But when it comes to small kids or babies, so I say that parents should not give them that, because it's not only harmful for them, but it's also harmful for everyone who's around in the house.
Is there any book that influenced you? Have you been to any summer camps before?
So regarding books, I think I've read a lot of books, and even I don't remember that how many I have read. And earlier I had a kind of big library, but I have a small one now because I have given a lot of books to others. But now I'm collecting the new ones. I've read a lot of books. Like I have read Nitis and Smritis and Griha Sutras, Dharma Sutras, and a bit of Shrauta Sutras too. And I've read them. Like I have, I have not studied them like in going somewhere and learning that. I've read them, the concepts and all those things related to that particular text. And I've read a lot of books by monks and sannyasis and other writers regarding some historical incidents or some figures. So also I've read, and I've also read some novels. So I read every type of book. And there are quite good books like Gospel of Ramakrishna, which I think like a person who is in starting of his spiritual journey, he can definitely read that book, which is actually the Upadeshas of Ramakrishna Paramahansa, who was a guru of Swami Vivekananda. So that book is a very great book. And then they can read Niti books, like we have Bhartrihari Shatakam, we have Tri Shatakas, we have Chanakya Niti, we have Vidur Niti. So these are the starting books from where you can start, and you can learn a lot of things from these books. So I think that one can read Nitis, Smritis bhi पढ़ सकते हैं, and they can read Bhagavad Gita, most importantly Ramayana and Mahabharata, which is itihasas. And one Bhagavad Gita is also a great text because it says that this is the nectar of the Vedas. So basically you can find everything in Gita. So basic concepts about Atma, Paramatma, God, soul, and what is our relationship with God, and all these small basic concepts you can understand from Gita and Gospel of Ramakrishna. And we have books by Swami Shivananda. We have many different kinds of books. We have Ramayana and Mahabharata. We have a lot of different commentaries. We have some stotras by Shankaracharya, by different acharyas, Shivananda Lahiri, Saundarya Lahiri. We have a lot of texts, so we can read all of them. It takes a lot of time, and don't make it like something ritualistic. We think if we are reading Mahabharata or Gita, keep it in a red cloth and open it for once in a month. It's not like that. You can read it like a book. Okay, you can read it daily before you go to sleep. Take out your Bhagavad Gita, read one shloka, its commentary, or read one chapter as much as you can, and that's sufficient. And slowly you will learn those concepts, and you will understand that what it literally means. And when you'll meet new peoples, you'll learn more things. In my context, I have read many books myself, and I have been to some places. I have been to Uttar Pradesh in a Gurukul. I have been to Delhi in a Gurukul, and I have been to Rishikesh to some acharyas. So I have been to these places, and I have learned a lot. Everywhere I have learned certain things. And there are also summer camps. Like I have been to the summer camps by Sanskrit Bharati and all, because they teach the basic Sanskrit. So I think that in your summer vacations you can join such summer camps too, because it helps a lot. You will meet new people, you will meet new acharyas, new teachers. So all these things helps. And in my case, I think reading books and meeting acharyas and discussing things with them, and asking questions to them, and then getting those answers, and whenever we get a satisfactory answer, we feel that we should follow that. So I think we should meet good spiritual people, we should read books, we should attend seminars, we should be in that association from where we can learn about spirituality, and we should follow that. Whatever we are reading, whatever we are understanding, the first thing which we need is to follow that. If we are not able to understand how we have to do it, so we can contact those people, we can contact acharyas, we can contact organizations, we can contact those people who are interested in all these things. So I think this is about books and where I went for understanding all these things.
What is your advice to parents?
So the first thing, I'm not an authority to give guidance to parents, because I am not the one. So I can just whatever I feel and whatever I discuss with my parents, because I am very much open to them. So I often discuss things. So I think that don't force them, and don't force them for your dreams. I have seen a lot of parents, they wanted to become engineer and now they want their son to become an engineer. Even if he's not interested in that, they'll force him to be an engineer. My father wanted to become a doctor, now you become a doctor. So this is the biggest toxicity you can ever give to your, to your kids. And I think that उनको खुला छोड़िए, don't bound them. Tell them this is right, this is wrong, and when you'll follow this path, you'll attain these things. When you'll follow this wrong path, you will attain these things. From following this path, you'll get happiness, eternal peace, and by following this certain path, you'll get certain kind of depression and anxiety, and you'll face problems. So just tell them, show them examples that he followed this, now he's suffering. He did this right thing, now he's enjoying. So just tell them, don't force them, because in my life I have seen my mother never forced me for doing this or doing that. Yeah, certain rules were there as a family rules, because when we live in a family we have certain rules. We have to follow certain rules. Like in our family it was like my mother used to say, if you have not performed your Sandhya Vandana, so I'll not give you food. So in initial stages when we were small, so we used to do that, but theek hai, my mother will not give me food if I'll not do that. But after some time we realized that this is right, and there were many things which they never force, they never forced me about to follow that. So I think that don't force them, just tell them this is right and this is wrong, and don't force them to pursue your dreams. You wanted to become a doctor, it was your life, now it's the life of your son, your daughter. So let them do what they want to, because in today's generation an artist, an advocate, a journalist, an engineer, a doctor, everyone is equal. So you have multiple opportunities, and whatever your son wants to do, your daughter wants to do, let them do, and tell them this is right, this is wrong, and they'll do best in their life. So that's what I can say to parents. And rather than this, they know what is the practical problems in raising a kid. So I'm not an expert, but I think that this is something they should follow. Shri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhaju Manu Haran Bhava Bhayadarunam Navakanja Kanja Mukha Kara Kanja Pada Kanjarunam Shri Ramachandra Kripalu Bhaju Manu Harana Bhava Bhayadarunam.
बेस्ट माइक्रो क्रिएटर और इस कैटेगरी के विनर हैं अरितमन, जो वैदिक एस्ट्रोलॉजी और एंशिएंट इंडियन विजडम पर काम करते हैं। आप आध्यात्म पर काम करते हैं और ज्योतिष पर काम करते हैं और सबको प्रेरणा देते हैं।
केयूरान विभूषयन्ति पुरुषं आरान चन्द्रोज्ज्वला